It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is What Made the Cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the program brought to you by the good folks at Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Give them a call today, TrajanWealth.com for all your retirement needs. Joining us on the program right now, he is Sly Sylvester. Sly on the program. Sly, earlier in the show, we rolled out Mike Tomlin on the hot seat in the head coaching profession. How on earth did we find ourselves in this spot?
Who's determining that he's on the hot seat?
One of these dumb idiot writers of one of these NFL stupid stories.
People want him on the hot seat, but that's not going to happen. You got to know the Roonies to be able to put somebody on the hot seat. It's crazy.
So how does somebody go on the hot seat in Pittsburgh after 18 seasons and more than 185 wins?
You don't, because one, the Roonies value more of your ethics than winning. Of course they're a winning franchise, but they feel like it starts with who you are as a person. And the Roonies love who Mike Tomlin is as a person, and that's going to translate to winning, right? And so I think that is their mentality with getting a head coach, because it's like, who am I going to find to coach this team in the AFC North? Like, you're not going to find anybody. There's no equivalent. Not Nick Sirianni, who just won the Super Bowl, not Belichick, not anybody. There's nobody who's going to be able to fill those shoes, because you let Mike Tomlin go, and then it's all going to be like, well, Mike Tomlin wouldn't let that happen. Tomlin wouldn't have did this. It's hard to win, right? And so you can't just be like, oh, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, so get him out of here. The guy hasn't had a losing season. Still, every year when he gets close, we have the narrative where we're just like, oh, my gosh, he's so close, he's not going to have it, and then he still doesn't have it. So you can't hold anybody to that, man.
But hold on.
That's huge.
When Mason Rudolph is your starting quarterback, though, what's going to happen now?
I mean, is that his fault?
I think you make a great point with that. I'd fire the GM if I fired anybody.
Right?
Like you've known you knew last year you didn't have a quarterback.
Exactly. I mean,
how much time did you have to prepare for this?
Ever since Roethlisberger left, you knew you needed a quarterback. Kenny Pickett was not a situation. Okay, you bombed on that. You didn't get good trade value from it. Like you've known for the last 4 or 5 years you needed a quarterback. And so, I mean, hopefully this Will Howard from Ohio State comes up to be something.
Oh, my gosh.
But, hey, here's my –
You just don't want to talk about the guy that is going to be signed to be the job.
Here's the thing.
You're avoiding something here.
I'm not gonna be and moan about what we don't have.
Thank you for your editing.
Right? What we don't have. We don't got Aaron Rodgers. We don't have Kirk Cousins. We don't have anything in the free agency. What we do have is what we're going into training camp with, and I'm telling you what, that's Mike Tomlin's philosophy. That's his mentality right there. I don't care about the fluff. Mason Rudolph, Duck Rogers, whoever the hell it is. They're going to do it. Like, he's like, I'm going with this. I know I got some dogs on defense, and if we got to be the highest scoring defense in NFL history, then that's what we're going to have to do to win. If the other team doesn't score, you win, because we got a dang good kicker. We got a dang good kicker, I tell you that much. So, I mean, there's just a mentality going into the season, and Mike Tomlin, he just doesn't take no crap, and that's what the Roonies love.
Yeah,
it is funny. We talk about it, and we're like, what an awful – the Steelers are struggling right now. It's like, still went to the playoffs last year. Russell Wilson took this Steelers team to the playoffs with a 10-7 record during the regular season, and he actually outdueled from the yardage perspective Lamar Jackson in that playoff game. It wasn't close, by the way, but it was 28-0 before Pittsburgh, I think, even scored. But that is neither here nor there. All right, Sly, we just wanted to I know that was basically harassment. I apologize. We went right after you.
He was ready.
First of all, you can't harass Sly. I'm always ready.
I know. Okay, so as you start to look at this thing, first of all, how is it that the Eagles in the tush push situation. Why is it that it's just the Eagles? Why is it that it's just the Eagles' special play? How is it that the Eagles are the only team that has seemed to have been the ones who've been able to cash in on this thing? And obviously, when it feels like it's this weird lopsided thing, every team could be able to do this thing. It's not a hard formula to follow. Why is it that the Eagles are the ones that are able to figure this thing out?
It's a technique, right? And that's what I feel. I'm on both sides of this, verdict on all of this stuff, right? Like, I can literally talk to you guys. You guys want me to go off for 30 minutes? This is like, so you talk about player safety, right? The player safety committee of the NFL voted against it to eradicate the tush push. And there's still votes that overwent that, and that just doesn't take precedence. What does that say about what they really care about, right? Like, it's about selling tickets at the end of the day. Don't give me this player safety. Oh, we've done this, we've done X to make sure that guys are safe. You don't care. You want to score more points. That's what it's all about. You want to get new fans and new countries all around the world.
You want sports talk radio shows talking about the tush push.
How do you get that? It's not by playing defense, right? You score points. Why would you stop the tush push? That's what the NFL owners are talking about, and I bet you what, that's what Goodell's talking about too. So, they don't really care. And believe me, I'm a former NFL player. You could talk to any local NFL players. They don't care about you. You're just a number. It's a meat market. You're just, and that's evident with everything that they do. But you got to read between the lines with how they're displaying things in the media. They're making themselves sound like they're actually, moral, and they don't care, right? This is more evident to that. But here's my thing: is you take away the defense's ability to do that on field goals, to push people on field goals, because we can't block kicks anymore. Why? Because it takes points off the board. But you allow the offense to do it, right? So all this is going to get to is defenses are going to start doing. I know that's what I would be doing. Defenses are going to load up behind their defensive linemen and start pushing guys right into Jalen Hurts' lap, right? You're going to get Chris Jones and all these other linebackers bolting right behind him, and you're going to get 600-700 pounds pushing on Jason Kelsey's neck until he's paralyzed, until you guys wake up, right? That's the only thing that's going to change this. And so defense has got to wake up like, look, we got to do it too. The problem is like with rugby, I believe, and I haven't checked this for sure, maybe you guys can check me on it, but when they do the rugby scrum, before they start pushing, there's contact already made, right? And so it's literally just pushing back and forth. As far as football goes, you have to make initial contact. You still got to watch the ball. You can't be in the neutral zone, and you still have to make contact with somebody. That's dangerous. And so, at the end of the day, the NFL doesn't care. They want to sell more tickets. So I always knew what the ruling was going to be, and I bet you anybody else knew what the ruling was going to be at the end of the day. The Philadelphia Eagles are selling tickets. They're worldwide. You're going to Brazil. You're going to England. You're going to London. You're playing all these games. Next thing you know, you're going to be in Beijing and Bangkok and playing football. And that's what the NFL wants. So why take points off the board? Why take the potential to get more fans into the NFL pocket by taking points off the board? It's just not. That's just not what the NFL does.
Turning our attention to college football, Vegas has spoken. They've released the over/under on wins this year for the Big 12. They have Utah at 7.5, which would be tied for. Well, it would be fifth. Well, kind of tied for fourth with BYU at 7.5. Over or under, do you think the Utes are at 7.5 wins?
Man, I know people can come at me for my biased opinion here. But, I've always said this. Ever since we started doing things in high school football and all this stuff, JJ, I've always said it's all about matchups.
Yeah.
Right? And how well do you match up? One, this defense – is top 15, top 20, hands down. At the end of the day, when you see statistics, people are going to be like, no. But I'm telling you, when this defense has a complementary offense, they are top 15, top 20, right? And the teams that we play this year are not top 15. There's not a team on this that I think will be ranked. Now with Retzloff's news, I don't even think BYU will be ranked heading into the season. And so I don't see us losing less than 7 games, right? Like we mustered out 5 wins last year in an abysmal season. And now you got multiple quarterbacks to back it up that's valuable, that know the system, that you can put in place to do that, which that was our issue last year. We talked about it multiple times. Our issue was quarterback, right? Isaac Wilson was just too young, right? They did not do him right in that situation. Now you got Devin Dampier in a familiar system, right? Now you got athletic guys backing him up. Nate, why is his name eluding me right now? Nate Johnson.
Yep.
You have guys, you have contingency plans now. And I think that's great. Here's the thing. As we said 8 more points. We're a 10-2, 9-3 team last year, right? And so I think that we are that close to doing everything. And UCLA doesn't have it all together right now. I know that quarterback just transferred there, but I'm telling you, his teammates, once this defense gets to once it gets to him, I keep forgetting his name. Gets to him,
Nico.
Nico. UCLA teammates are going to be like, "Oh, you're trash, you money hungry trash." But like, and it's going to be a terrible season for them. So they suck by scheduling Utah the first game of the year. That's what they shouldn't have did. But anyways, that's how that's going to be. Then we got Cal Poly, Wyoming. Texas Tech's going to be a tough game. In West Virginia, I know that's going to be a tough game. But we got Arizona State at home, a rivalry game that's 6s all the way across the board. You know how rivalry games go. I think we have the upper hand against Colorado. Cincinnati's not great. Baylor is Baylor. Kansas State and Kansas. I got to take over on that. I think at worst we'll have an 8-4 season.
What the heck does Baylor's Baylor mean?
Baylor's Baylor, like they can, like
bad.
without
They're
without
better now
RG3,
than they were. They're way better now than they were at the beginning of last year.
Without RG3, what season have they had?
I mean, here's the thing though: they won 6 games in a row to finalize the season last year.
That's
like they
great.
got way
That's
better.
Wonderful.
They got way better.
That's wonderful.
Okay,
but I don't see it.
Guess what Vegas has the Bears as 7.5 wins.
Okay,
over or under?
Hey. I don't know their schedule, so I can't tell you.
No, he's taking the under because he says Baylor's Baylor.
No,
Baylor.
I mean, here's the thing. They went to a bowl game last year, right?
Yeah, they did.
And so they can do that. I just think that as far as Utah playing Baylor, that's the result for me. And so I don't know that yet, but we'll figure it out. I mean, they got Auburn. I'm looking at their schedule now. Auburn, SMU, Samford, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Cincinnati, UCF, Utah. I say over. I give them the over.
All right,
but barely probably.
Well, yeah,
I would take TCU 6.5 wins to the bank if I'm in Vegas.
Okay.
That team's going to win more than 6.5.
Y'all got some money left over? I got to make some.
No.
We got to take a trip, fellas.
No.
Will your wives allow this?
Probably not.
I'll go. No, I can go on the trip all day. What happens is I'm the worst gambler on the planet. The people are like, "Oh, you know so much about sports. You could take that to Vegas." I'm like, "You understand? I'm bad at this."
Here's the thing.
Go to the craps table, and I'm like, I'll take. I can't do it.
Who's good?
Nah.
Like you can't have the mentality of being bad or good. You got to have the mentality of having fun, right? And I tell you what, Alex, I would have fun with you at the freaking craps table.
I know.
You'd be like, I can't believe I rolled another 9. What the heck?
You just said
Field.
Oh.
And so it's all about having fun, and I think we'd have fun, gents.
Let's do it.
You just said real quick because we're almost out of time here, but you said we'd have some fun and who would win. I'm curious now. Who do you think is going to win the Big 12? Because you're looking at it and there's not that dominant team that everyone's looking up to. It's pretty wide open. And I know you haven't dug into all the schedules, but you're going to get there. But just off the top of your head right now, way too early for you, as someone who covers Utah and follows Utah, who are you looking up to and thinking, man, that's the team we need to worry about?
I mean, how could we not, look away from Iowa State?
Right.
Iowa State, man, like when you got your quarterback coming back, I know you lost your 2 receivers, but they're replaceable. What was so hard about Iowa State when they came here to Utah was that their multiple formations and how well they executed those were trouble, right? But you've seen how Iowa State finished the season and going against Florida. I know they didn't do great in the Big 12 championship, but I know they got some get back. I would say Iowa State would be my front runner right now. But man, I don't think there is a guy ahead of anybody else here. I think we have to see personnel and all the movement with transfer portal stuff and all this stuff. You never know who picked up a gem that nobody knows about, right?
Well, Texas Tech broke the bank going out and getting transfer portal guys.
Man, I mean, here's the thing.
That Tech-Utah game is going to be outstanding early in the season.
It's going to be great.
Is
I
that
can't
at
wait
Rice
for that.
Eccles too?
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, and then BYU's got to go to Lubbock. That's a tough one for them.
Brutal.
That's a great draw, at least if you're going to play one of the. What's crazy, Sly, is you say Iowa State, and there you could ask 5 people who cover the Big 12, and they'd have a different team for you, which is what happened last year.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. It's and I can't tell if that's good for the league or bad. I mean, to be honest, like
watch Oklahoma State win the whole thing next year.
Mike Gundy comes back and does it again.
Gosh.
Okay.
It'll be crazy. But great season ahead. We'll see.
Sly, thanks for hanging out, man. We appreciate it. Are you going to be here next week?
Hey, man, you let me know. It's me and you. JJ's just leaving us.
I guess. JJ's got other stuff going on. That's fine. Sly's going to come hang out with us next week, and we'll get some more. Never a bad time to have Sly on the program ever. So we appreciate you coming on the show today, and we'll chat with you again, man.
Of course, man. Talk to you fellas soon. Happy Memorial Day.
Hey,
you too.
You too, Sly.
Enjoy the I'm sure you'll be doing some landscaping or something fun in the backyard.